right, guys, welcome to another episode. My name's Orlando.
And I'm Omar,
We're the Smart Bros.
and this is the Smart Take.
All right, guys, we're gonna get right into it. This is gonna be our Super Bowl recap video, and Chiefs won. And like, thank goodness the Chiefs won. It would have been so painful how we had to come on here and just talk about the Eagles winning another Super Bowl within the last 6 years, and that would have been the worst. So I'm so happy we don't have to do that. Thank goodness, Patrick Mahomes. Thank you, Travis Kelce. Thank you, Andy Reid, for taking care of business. It was pretty close up, and so that made it at least like an exciting game in terms of it wasn't just like a blowout. I had a range of emotions because I wanted the Eagles to lose so bad. It was almost like watching the Cowboys play. So I said it when I was featured on Bobcat Radio, which is the local radio station down here in San Marcos, 88.9. If you guys are local or you want to tune into that, I'm featured Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. But I just kind of mentioned how like the second best thing after a Cowboys win is an Eagles loss. So I'm ecstatic that they lost, and thank goodness for Patrick Mahomes. And how do you feel?
Yeah, I definitely feel the exact same. I could not be happier. I can't lie. I was a bit nervous for a while. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was at the end of the game. I still knew that Patrick Mahomes was going to come out and win it. I had there was never any doubt about that, but I just didn't really like how close it was. And so when they threw the flag on the PI, or not the PI, the holding, which before any Eagles fans say it wasn't a hold, Bradbury said it's a hold, Slay has said it's a hold. Sometimes they're gonna call it, sometimes they're not, and they ended up calling it this time. So it's like I get it, like you're gonna like, dang, you don't make that call at the time, but the best way to not let them call that is don't hold. But then that could have
Man,
led to a touchdown in itself. So and I just couldn't have been happier when I'm telling you, when I saw that flag, oh, I literally got out of my seat. It's like I couldn't have been more hyped when I seen that flag. And shout out Jerick McKinnon because I saw a post where it said he could have been telling his grandkids about how he scored in the Super Bowl, this and that, but he sacrificed his own personal success for the betterment of the team. That way they could run all the time off, get a field goal, and then that way they'd have to drive all the way down the field, which clearly they did not or couldn't. So I just, man, I would not have wanted to come on this podcast and just talk good about the Eagles because they won a Super Bowl. Oh my God. And then I
yeah,
like
man.
and just being a Cowboys fan, just being a football fan, that would have been like the death of me. And I just would not have had any fun making this podcast. I remember we talked on the phone after they won. I was like, you know what? I want to do the podcast. I can't
Can't
wait.
wait. Yeah,
And so, man, I'm just glad that the Chiefs pulled it out. Man, when you have Patrick Mahomes, you always have a chance. When you have Travis Kelce, you always have a chance. And I just want to give a humongous shout out to our cousin Ronald Jones II, first player in USC history to win a Super Bowl. At first, it was just the conference championship in both AFC and NFC, but now playing with Patrick Mahomes, he has won a championship, a Super Bowl in both AFC and NFC. So a huge shout out to him. I'm super proud of him. I know you are. Our whole family is. And I just had to,
definitely,
give us a little shout out before we continue.
definitely. So with the game ending, if you had to pick an MVP of the game, who would you say it was? Obviously, the league gave the
Other than
award
Patrick
to.
Mahomes,
Well, no, I was just gonna say the league definitely gave it to Patrick Holmes. I mean, you could pick him if you agree with that. If you don't, just say who you thought. But I know. Well, what are your
other
thoughts?
if I had to go other than Patrick Mahomes, because obviously he deserved. I think he had a great game, of course. And like people kept saying that Jalen Hurts outplayed him. It really wasn't that. He just was on the field so much longer than Patrick Mahomes. So Patrick Mahomes couldn't have the type of stats that he did. Like it's not like Patrick Mahomes played bad. He was 21 of 27. He only incompleted 6 passes, three
Man,
touchdowns. Like I mean, it was just he wasn't on the field that long. We're so accustomed to him running up and down the field, but the Eagles did a very good job of keeping him off the field, especially in the first half, because He literally scored every single time he had the ball in the second half, whether it was a
Yep.
touchdown or a field goal. So, I mean, I just don't really know how you can just say that he got outplayed, even though, don't get me wrong, Jalen Hurts had a good game. But if I had to give a MVP other than Patrick Mahomes, I'd have to go Isaiah Pacheco. Man,
Hmm.
he had some very, very, very big and hard runs. He attempted 15 runs, had 76 yards, had himself a touchdown. As a rookie, you couldn't ask for more. As a seventh round pick, you couldn't ask for more. He did it. He showed up. He showed out, and he did everything that he was expected to do, or not even expected to do. That he was not expected to do. Things that nobody saw that no one saw this happening. So I think he was the MVP, if not Patrick Mahomes, of course. What about you?
See, I do, but that's why I had said that caveat because I agree with. I know you said you agree with them, but I just want to give the shout out to Patrick Mahomes because of the narrative that's being pushed mostly by Eagles fans and just Eagles sympathizers. I guess a lot of people are just trying to give Jalen Hurts his credit and his flowers right now, which is cool, I guess, because you just don't want to like. I mean, he did play well, but that's just not even like it's not necessary right now because he lost. And Patrick Mahomes deserves all the credit right now. He deserves all the shine. He wasn't outplayed. He played as well as needed to be to win the game. He like you said, he wasn't on the field that long. He only like six incompletions. That's
Six
not
incompletions.
yeah, six incompletions. That's unheard of. And he played as well as he had to in the Super Bowl. He didn't wasn't able to be stopped in the second half. They literally scored, like you said, every single time in the second half once they got that ball. So I just wanted to give that shout out to Patrick Mahomes because the stat sheet might not say it. And that would only really be yards wise, and that was mainly just because they got great field possession a couple times, and they just worked with what they got. So yeah, he didn't have a lot of yards, but Patrick Mahomes played amazing in that game. So and I don't want to because in the past we've seen, at least for us, we've seen Dak Prescott play well in the playoffs. His defense not play well enough to get a stop at the end, and then he still get criticized. So I'm not really hearing any of this. Jalen Hurts played well enough to win the game because Dak Prescott has never gotten that credit. So I'm just all my focus is on completely on Patrick Mahomes winning, and he to say he was outplayed
No,
when he was the one who won the game, I just don't believe that.
no, yeah, that's definitely valid. Jalen Hurts, I mean, he still had a good game though. He 27 for 38, 304 yards. He threw a touchdown. Of course, he ran for three because of little QB sneaks. That's why it's like it's hard to say that he outplayed him. He just got a whole he got in some great position. Don't get me wrong, he threw some very good throws. I remember he threw a beautiful pass to Dallas, got it right over the outstretched hand. So I'm definitely giving him props. He had a good game. But like you said, if we're gonna if we're gonna hold one QB to the excellence, then we got to hold every QB like that. Especially if you're gonna say that they're this and they're that. If he's gonna be a top five like they're trying to say he is after one good season, then well you got to hold him to a top five standard. He's kind of getting like the Josh Allen and the Justin Herbert excuses right now. We almost beat him. Like, why are we giving people props for almost winning a game? We should
Yeah,
give the person who won the game. Like Josh Allen is not beating Patrick Mahomes in the playoff. Justin Herbert he's only even been to one playoffs this year, but in the regular season, he was just almost beating Patrick Mahomes. But we were thinking, oh my, okay, but they almost did. What is that? This isn't horseshoes. Why are we giving
yeah,
credit? We should be giving credit to the Super Bowl winning quarterback, not the Super Bowl almost winning quarterback, not the um, Super Bowl 304 passing quarterback. He didn't win. Hey, congrats, you played good, but hey, it happens sometimes. Sometimes your team doesn't play altogether well enough to win the game, and that's just what happened. And I just want to say for all the people who kept saying Dak just gets so many turnovers and Jalen Hurts doesn't turn the ball over, he had a very big turnover in this game, seeing as seeing as they only lost by three, but they scored 7 points on that turnover because he fumbled. Hey, a fumble recovery touchdown is just as much as a pick six. If you're gonna a
absolutely.
turnover is a turnover. Like I saw a tweet that said he had zero turnover worthy plays. Did they realize turnovers aren't only picks? I guarantee had that been Dak Prescott, he wouldn't have had 0 turnover-worthy plays. A turnover is a turnover, and not even just a turnover. It was a scoop and score,
And
which changed the game entirely.
absolutely. And honestly, okay, and so with the turnover worthy play, honestly, a turnover isn't really a turnover because like that's kind of what that phrase is for. It's to give an example of something that's actually an turnover worthy play is Dak Prescott's pick six against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Put a pass right on the money to Noah Brown, who then scoops it straight into the defender's hand, who then runs it back. But I don't think that could ever be attributed to a fumble. How can you say it was an unturnover worthy play when it was either forced out, he dropped the ball, he did something to where it was just a straight up miscue from the person who had the ball? So I don't understand how that could be considered unturnover worthy. That's just kind of outrageous to me, honestly, that
I
post was
agree.
even posted and even had as much attention as it did. Because yeah, that's just crazy. But if you had to, so right now there's a lot of talks going on about like the top quarterbacks in the league, and so just simply, I just want to know: would you consider Jalen Hurts elite right now?
I just, it's gonna sound like his hate because it's coming from us, but no, he just, congrats. He had a great season. He had 22 passing touchdowns, ran for like 12 touchdowns. So, like, I'm not trying to discredit him at all, but I don't think one season is what takes it, is what makes you elite. Do they realize that the Eagles fans, not even us, Eagles fans were ready to ship him out last year? So how do you go from ready to get traded to elite? I don't know how that happens. He's with all this seeing great, great, great year. Let his team to the best in the league, 14-3. So I'm not taking that away from him. He won the NFC, won the NFC Championship. He got himself to the Super Bowl, which can be accredited to luck, could be accredited to how well they orchestrated their team. But I just don't think they were winning because that he was just so great. Like, yeah, example, Christmas Eve. Did they beat us? No. But for all the people who are giving people props for almost winning, Minshew put up 35 against the what people tried to that way that they could just discredit our offense. They are discredit our team. They always say we were a top five defense. He put up 35 against a top five defense. So if a backup in Gardner Minshew can go put up 35, what can any other starting quarterback in the league do? But I will say he was of course the runner up in MVP. Even if he won MVP this year, I still would not have called him elite. It would just been a good player on a great team. How would you what do you say about that?
I mean, I agree 100%. I don't see how you can construct a team around him that well and this be the first season. I mean, now if he continues to do this, obviously, then no one could say he is an elite. But I don't see how you could just see
Right.
this one season with the team that was constructed around him and just automatically consider that elite. I don't think that while Gardner, like you said, the narrative that's being pushed right now that to make him elite is kind of crazy. Joy Taylor literally said on live television that a reason that makes him elite is because we've seen, quote for quote, we've seen what the offense looks like without him. They scored more points against the Cowboys than Jalen Hurts did. So I don't what does that even mean? I'm very confused. So like now in terms of wins, do I think Gardner Minshew would have won as many games as Jalen Hurts? No, but that's Cooper Rush wouldn't have won as many games as Dak Prescott. That's not what the backup's supposed to do. Do I think you could throw in a backup or a scrub or just anybody into that Eagles offense or that Eagles like team as a whole and they be successful? No, but you can take, in my opinion, the top 1 through 15 to maybe even 20 quarterbacks and put them on that team and they still be successful. Because I just don't understand. I don't see anything from Jalen Hurts specifically that I've never seen from anyone else given that opportunity when they're throwing to a receiver the caliber of AJ Brown, when they have an offensive line that's completely stacked across the board and have all day to throw it. I've seen every quarterback from Patrick Mahomes, who's the absolute best, to around. I mean, people are gonna call this hate or this, but no, even people like, oh no, okay, that's not true. Okay. Now I'm thinking about it. 1 through 20 is a definitely stretch. I'd say the first 1 through 10 quarterbacks in the league can be placed in that situation, and you get those same results because everybody from Patrick Mahomes to around, let's say, because I
Jared
mean,
Goff,
yeah,
even though
exactly.
he's not top 10, but
With Derek Carr, somebody like what when you give them a plethora of weapons, it's because it's one thing to have one good receiver and Devontae Adams or something, but when you have 2,000-yard receivers, an amazing tight end in Dallas Goedert, he's the top 5 tight end right now. That throw you're talking about, great throw, but that catch was amazing. That ball barely touched his fingertips, and he caught it. And then there was a play on the Chiefs had to challenge because it was such a close to be not being a catch. And versus this is a Cowboys podcast, so we're gonna relate everything to what Dallas does. Compare that to Dalton Schultz on the last drive of Dallas's playoff game, to where he doesn't even he is it's almost a routine play for him to get his speed down, and they challenge it because they're like, oh wait, he didn't even finish that playoff. He went out of bounds. So that's just the 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 weapons he has on offense, along with an amazing run offense that they have this year, and that's just on one side of the ball. His defense, Dak Prescott has never had a defense like this. That defense, as well as having the defensive line they had 2 corners who were Pro Bowl caliber, All Pro caliber corners this year. Dak Prescott has never had that. He didn't get Trayvon Diggs, who's the caliber, who's better than both of them, in my opinion, until 2-3 years ago. And so Diggs didn't become the best corner in the league until last year. So that's the only time. That's the only good consistent quarterback play he's had. And then, so it's just not even really comparable when you look at the two teams built around him. Because people like to say that Dak Prescott has had weapons like this. And last season, I do believe that we had a team around us, around Dak Prescott, to be more successful than we were. But their their solution was to get worse. We got technically, like, personnel wise, we got worse as a team. Now we did do better, but that's just a testament to how good Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, Michael Parsons, and the players that we did keep, how much better that they were this season. So to answer the original question that was mine, no, I do not think Jalen Hurts is elite just because we've seen him without this great of a team, and he was not elite. Like you said, Eagles fans were ready to ship him out. They didn't even know why he was drafted when they picked him in the second round. So I mean, until he can continue, he can do this with some consistency. He can build off this season into another season, have them a deep playoff run, or to where if he were to continue to have deep playoff runs or just playoff runs in general, where he plays well enough and his defense wins. I mean, his defense loses him the game, then I'll give him the benefit of the doubt eventually. But he has to continue to do this for me to consider him elite.
no, yeah, I could not agree more. But at the end of the day, I am just, oh my God, I just thank God that the Eagles lost, man. I just could not have dealt with that. Cause it was crazy. I was expecting so many calls like I got when the Cowboys lost
Yeah,
or when the Eagles
weird.
beat us the first time, and my phone, it just didn't ring. I didn't know what that was about. I was expecting a plethora of calls, but they probably lost my number
Yeah,
because I got a new phone. I mean, same number, but I got a new phone like back in August. So maybe that's
that's
what it
all
was.
right.
It was like a mix up or something.
And see, my thing is, I was watching the game, and I kind of after the game, we were talking about it. I was telling my friends about it. I was like, actually, this must be what it feels like for all of them, like all the Cowboys haters out there, because to prey on somebody's downfall that hard, and for then it to come true felt good. Like I'm not even gonna lie, it felt so good to want them to lose and then to watch them lose. Like,
Yeah.
I could, it was legit
And then
perfect.
just see all the excuses they were making.
Yeah,
So I can't even be mad. That's true. That is
yeah.
probably exactly how they feel. Because oh my God. And another reason I'm not giving them any type of sympathy is because of how they would have reacted had Trayvon Diggs got a hold of the call right there.
Oh my
Oh
God.
my God. Or Anthony
Yeah,
Brown.
yeah.
Bam. We would I'm talking about I would have probably just had to turn my phone off because I'm not they would not have been hearing that. But here
Oh
comes
yeah,
it wasn't a hold. You don't call it. I'm not hearing none of that. If they would give us something, that's one thing. But I know they wouldn't, and they would cry me a
right.
river, this and that. That's exactly what I said. Die, Eagles, die. I hate y'all. I always will. Oh my God, I couldn't. I'm so happy y'all lost. Ha
Yeah, man.
ha.
Really, and I don't care that y'all made it to the Super Bowl. That means nothing.
Congrats. It's not. We
Y'all
don't.
have
Go ahead.
y'all have one Super Bowl win in entire franchise history. It doesn't matter if you saw it. That's 1 to 5. Like, and even if y'all would have won, that would have been 2. And so, and my question to Eagles fans: what before 2017? What was y'all's argument to Cowboys fans? Because today, the only thing they can possibly say to Cowboys fans at the end of the day is all the conversations always boil down to, "I've seen my team win a Super Bowl." So before y'all even won one, what did y'all have to say? Because now it's still 5-1. Y'all gotta come a little harder than that. You've seen it, because I'm not a fan of the players that are currently on the Cowboys. I'm a fan of the Cowboys, and the Cowboys have 5 Super Bowls. I don't care if that happened in 1890. That's my team. Those are their Super Bowls. So until y'all catch up, y'all gonna have to. It's gonna be a long road for y'all. Y'all
I agree.
y'all got a long way to go.
No, yeah, couldn't have said it better. But all right, guys, keep liking, keep commenting, keep subscribing, keep sharing. We appreciate y'all. Gonna keep doing some videos. We're gonna have a Cowboys full season recap. We just talk about the
Yeah.
whole season, some of the some of the new coordinators we have, Kellen Moore, how he left, all that. We're gonna continue to keep going. But take us out,
All right, guys. Well, I'm Orlando.
and I'm Omar,
We're the Smart Bros.
and this smart tape.